All right, folks, welcome back. We have got game number 2 ready and raring to go. Scale and Copium proving they are not ones to be messed with, as YUBI is now on the back foot and having to respond. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and respond with basically similar bans, but they're choosing to get rid of that Morgana. I think that's really important as you basically get rid of that Black Shield, which was such a devastating thing to that comp that YUBI had originally drafted. And the Sejuani, funny enough, has been banned by Scaling Copium.
Yeah, so definitely adaptations. YUBI choosing to play red side once again. So I think this is interesting. They are saying that the counter pick for Civil Lock up against Street Smurf was extremely valuable, and they want to continue to play towards that angle. Scaling Copium happy to reprise their role for playing blue side. Now I'm interested, with the Morgana taken away, do they continue to B1 Caitlyn? But Yuumi is the pickup against the Cats themselves. Oh baby, Frozen Aegis throwing down a gauntlet.
I can't decide if that pick is a we got a strat for this, or we're just not gonna let them pick the UB. Like that kind of feels like what it's doing. Although I do not expect Brian Sang to let himself be put on the Catboy. Like I just don't think that would happen. And we have a response with the Caitlyn being picked up. I like it because you have the distance engage, which does mean that you'll be on the edge of the cat's kind of magical arrow that it tries to hit you with, so there will be some advantage for that. And they basically just want to make sure Warplaque is not able to disrupt their engages by locking off those choke points.
Oh baby, is it Bard time for Brian Sang? Finally unleashed on another roaming support. I am so excited about this matchup already. So Caitlyn Bard, something that was played at the World Championships fairly recently. Now, if Scaling Copium want to respond in kind, the traditional Yuumi pair in the bot side is Sivir, which is very powerful. Warplaque gonna lock that in, and a character as well that Warplaque has a ton of experience playing in this league alone. So we're getting some very powerful picks in that bottom side, and now Scaling Copium gonna pick up the Hecarim available for Bloon 21 and locked in.
And you know, I really like this Sivir pickup because it has such a easy job of being able to try and poke this Caitlyn, who's going to be attacking from such a long range with their auto attacks, that the bouncing blades are just going to be able to allow them to have access to the Caitlyn despite the minion wave that'll be protecting her. So I really think Jeff God is going to be in a little bit of a precarious position here, and it's going to be on a little bit of a timer, as once that Sivir hits the 500 CS limit, then they are boom in the game. Nothing can stop them now. And just being unlocked by the Yuumi with the zoomies and the ultimate out of Sivir is going to be just basically speed all around on the side of Scaling Copium.
Right, so Zoe going to be picked away from Street Smurf, the Aatrox banned from Smoke Swag as the counter into Urgot. Now, going into this second half of the draft, something that is interesting is that in Game 1, Smoke Swag, I think it is fair to say, gapped red in the laning phase, playing that Sejuani. But that is no longer an available option for him. And red, once again, returning to the tried and true Urgot, this time with more bans thrown at Smoke Swag. I'm interested to see what he's going to pick up. It is going to be Udyr for Utility Monster. I actually really like this choice. Scaling Copium has traditionally struggled with the Unstoppable from Olaf, and Udyr has a mini Unstoppable, can go CC immune, so they can continue to push forward and dive those important carries.
Yeah, so that'll be really useful for Utility Monster. And again, I have to wonder why the Sejuani ban was picked. Maybe, you know what? I think I know what the big brain play was. Smoke Swag was like, if we don't ban the Sejuani, they're going to ban it anyway, so it's gone. If I ban Sej myself, then that means that he will pick Urgot again automatically, and I've already got a champion lined up in the Darius ready to fight that on. So I think it's the big brain plays right there.
Is this going to be Street Smurf's Azir? It is going to be Street Smurf's Azir. I am so excited to see this. This is a character that is very, very flexible in the mid lane, which is why it's played to such heights in professional play. It has long range poke that supports, your ability to clear waves with Sivir. It supports engaging, as you can dash forward using that Shuriman shuffle, get really directly on top of a character. And it also has pretty solid laning matchups. The classic counter pick would either be Vel'Koz for Civil Lock or perhaps the Syndra, which I think is what is going to be locked in. And already we have a very, very different game going into game 2.
A very different game that I think is going to be a lot more fights around the mid lane. I think that that's going to be a little bit more crazy. And then once the shards start coming into play for Syndra, they're going to see their abilities unlocked. So Civillock's going to have a lot more agency with that champion and able to do just so much more and deal so much damage. I have never been a big fan of the Azir pick, personally. Like, I just think the champion is too difficult to pilot for a lot of players, and so it results in you focusing too much on your micro play, and you're avoiding some of the bigger elements of the fight as you're so hyper-focused on your current target you're trying to destroy. Street Smurf, though, has proven me wrong in the past, so I kind of hope to see that here in this game with this Azir pick, and I think that it will provide a lot of agency. It'll provide a lot of harassment that YUBI has to deal with as it's able to access that back line and hit that Caitlyn and that Syndra as they're trying to hang out in the side lane for safety. It's going to be just one of those things that I think we have to wait and see how the game progresses and where things end up. But the biggest thing that scares me about scaling Copium's comp is the Hecarim Yumi combo. Like, that right there is terrifying how fast it will move around the map.
Yeah, I think as I evaluate both of these team compositions, I'm going to say that I prefer what YOLO is showing in this game compared to last, because I feel like their draft is a little bit more flexible here, right? You can play hard team fight, right? You can play Yumi Hecarim. If they are ahead, they can just charge into the backline and absolutely decimate a carry. You can do that. And you still have the option of playing side lane, right? You have access to this Darius, who can play really aggressively up into red if they're able to get ahead. So it's not quite as feast or famine as what they were playing in the previous series, where it really felt like, Street Smurf had to play like a wizard. He had to duck and dive in and out, try and dodge a Vex, and try to do every little bit of his health bar just to get damage down. Now they're playing much more relaxed. They can play a standard front to back team fight, and even succeed against YUBI's specialty.
Yeah, when you're not having to dodge, duck, dive, and dodge, then it's definitely a much easier game to play. So it's going to be a little bit more of a smooth sailing for him. Now, I do expect a relatively healthy clear out of Utility Monster. Funny enough, he did not back after getting chunked down to half health by that poke. And in the same time, we're going to be seeing so much poke coming out of this bot lane. It's going to do so much damage to the Caitlyn Bard combo. I am really worried for this YUBI bot lane right now.
Yeah, this is absolutely brutal. My assessment of the match was that it would be Jeff already. It would be Jeff God Gamer who would have the early push, but because they went to leash on the bottom side, it is Warplaque who gets the early advantage. Will hit the level 2, and with sustain advantage from Frozen Aegis, this isn't getting easier for them. For a long time.
Not at all. You're just taking so much time. Got a nice little cappuccino there for Jeff God, as he is able to heal himself back up to a decent amount. Civillock, in the meantime, having to deal with so much poke out of Bird Boy here in the mid lane, as Street Smurf is just peppering him with so much damage. Look at that, though. So the amount of damage that was dealt with just 3 abilities between Brian, Singh, and Caitlyn does mean that they have an angle in on this. If they're able to hit that Sivir, get a good stun off, they might have the burst damage to just really chunk that health bar into non-existence. So they've just got to be looking for that angle. Got to hope they can find it. It's going to be really, really tricky, though. As we can see right here, Jeff got brought so low already. Warplaque wants that damage, does manage to pick up the stun. We do see the Ignite Exhaust coming out. Frozen Aegis almost managing to pick up the kill on the ADC, but unfortunately not quite able to. However, Jeff God is easily 1 Q auto away from death if Warplaque decides to engage on this. Oh, there it is! What did I say?
Yeah, immediate kill. Smoke Swag as well, taking the brunt of the aggression topside. We'll be able to trade pretty well
He,
here.
again, engaging on this smoke swag so hard. Utility Monster once again expending a lot of time and resources here as they try to get this Darius down. Doesn't manage to do it, and he's soaking up so much of Red's XP as he just sits there taking so long to back. It's probably going to set him pretty far behind.
Yeah, and you know, this is a very interesting game because I think that, you know, as these teams look, they want to spend their time as the junglers up on that top side. Very volatile lane. You want to try and get your Darius or your Urgot ahead, because if they're ahead, they can just sit in side lanes and, you know, there's no response from either team. But Warplaque and Frozen Ages have already made a statement down in this bottom side, and getting extra gold onto Yuumi. Dark Seal already built, double Amp Tome. Frozen Ages wants to murder people on the cat.
Oh my goodness, it's so painful how much damage he's going to be doing. Look at that chunk out of just one Yuumi Q. Like, just one of those does so much damage. And we're going to be seeing Warplaque look for this side angle. He is going to have the Baron, Bard there to assist him as he runs in. But unfortunately, Brian Sang is not going to be able to get there in time. And this tower is just basically providing so much protection at these early levels. Warplaque choosing to just hard engage on this is able to do so freely.
Yeah, I mean, going into this match, I thought that Jeff and Brian were going to be the more experienced bottom lane. And, you know, how could I not, right? These are two players who have been playing together for almost 2 years now. They know each other's limits. They have ascended to new heights. Jeff God Gamer ascending to, I think, Diamond 3, maybe Diamond 2 over the last couple months. So really playing aggressively.
This might be bad. So we have Utility Monster trying to sneak this dragon, which is a good call. He is able to healthily take it down. But unfortunately, if Warplaque chooses to take the opportunity to rotate, they are going to see that the dragon is being taken, and Hecarim is here able to respond.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they want to do it, and I actually really like this timing from Utility Monster because he knows that Warplaque wants to continue the aggression in the bottom side, right? When you have this lead against a Caitlyn, you don't want to let it up. You want to continue to get that farm, continue to push forward, and because of that, Utility Monster able to secure the dragon. Now this is interesting. Counter gank.
Counter gank is already prepped by the Hecarim there and ready and willing to go. Brian Sang's going to be caught out, having to flash to try and stay alive. Does not manage to get it. He did use the magical journey to get down there in the first place. So it doesn't have that as available to a way to escape. Utility Monster is going to be burned alive.
Street Smurf's here. He's 6.
Street Smurf is here and ready and willing. He's looking to get that Shurima shovel, throw out that Emperor's Divide. Does get the dodge. Flash is coming out. Double kill for the Yubi as they are going monstrous. The claws are out and they are scratching some faces.
Frozen Aegis 3-0-0 against the namesake, coming up huge, and YUBI look to be in shambles. This is not what you want for this team fighting composition. You expected to get your Caitlyn Bard to have the early push, to go forward, to be the ones with the CS lead, and instead it is Scaling Copium who are taking over this map.
You know what's really devastating about this right now is that it is like YUBI has counterpicked themselves because they had a clear pick right here. And look at this, Civillock is just absolutely not able to escape. There is nowhere for them to go. Spell Shield comes out, blocking the stun, and Warplaque is on the warpath.
Oh my goodness. Scaling Copium coming into game 2, making a statement move. Warplaque flashing over, so much confidence out of this guy, really proving that he meant what he said. You know, he said he wasn't afraid of KDA players on YUBI, and he thought that he could carry this series, and he is proving it today.
That's going to be a huge stun as they are locked down. Street Smurf double rooted, trying to get away. His birds are gone. He's trying to get some soldiers there. The Caitlyn does not quite have the damage, though, so they're not able to continue. Brian Singh wants to continue, but just like, nah, fam, we got this. We got to get out. There we go. Red managed to block so much of that bleed damage, is able to stay very healthy, but has very little mana left.
Yeah, so Street Smurf, you know, finally a small, minuscule win for YUBI. They deny resources from Street Smurf. He's going to go down to about a 10 CS deficit, maybe slightly more as Civillock pushes in this wave. But You know, this is just so impressive from Scaling Copium. Going into this series, I think it was clear that YUBI is generally considered to be the more coordinated team. They just have more experience playing together as a 5-stack. They are consistent about playing for their objectives. Street Smurf?
Civil Lock, oh my goodness, getting devastated by those Sand Soldiers from Street Smurf.
Yeah. Ultimate is available. Emperor's Divide on the table. Warplaque,
Oh,
though,
we got
now
the
in
magical
trouble.
journey. Brian Singh on the trying to get onto Warplaque is not able to find it. Utility Monster going to be walking over a ward. Has to drop the cooling smite, but he does not have his team there to follow up.
Yeah, and this is a huge deal because, as I mentioned, these players,
Look
you know,
at
these
the
junglers.
damage.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
X-Tech Alternator completed for Frozen Aegis means that every single one of those hits is absolutely crushing onto Jeff God.
My goodness, Brian Singh and Jeff God are just getting dismantled. That's the only way to describe it. They're getting picked to pieces.
And Bloon once again here to protect. Onslaught of Shadows not available, so the dive is not going to come through, but you know, Scaling Copium seem to have found another way to attack this team, is to play through this bottom side, and they're continuing to apply more and more pressure down here, and Warplaque now up to a 30 CS lead at only 10 minutes.
Jeez, I am so worried for YUBI right now. They could be getting the super secret objective plays going down though. So they already snuck Ocean Soul, and now we have the Rift Herald being snuck as well by Utility Monster. A much better performance, I think, out of for this game. Much better objective control. Now we just got to get the actual laners on the same game plan.
Yeah. So, taking stock of the game, 3,000 gold lead already at 10 minutes, but mostly concentrated down in this bottom side of the map. So YUBI can look, they have two options at this point. You can try to send Civil Lock and Utility Monster down into that bottom lane time and time again, try to mitigate the damage, or you need to start playing towards this top side hard, because red is still a win condition for this team. Smoke Swag, though, looking pretty scary.
Looking really, really terrifying in all honesty. You put him on a Darius, and the Noxian Executioner is just going to be doing so much. Just look at that. Look at how much damage that Decimate does.
Yeah, and of course, this lane is very volatile. Both champions have access to executes. Bloon21 looking for the play. Warplaque is here. Ultimate now coming through.
We have the ultimate spellbook coming out, and that is going to be a lockdown. Civil Lock just deleted. Syndra never had a chance. Oh, you hate to see it. Smoke Swag now going to get engaged on by Utility Monster. We do have the ultimate and the flash coming out right there. The execution is available, but the damage isn't there. The tower shots are. Smoke Swag under the tower, picking up the kill.
You can feel the pressure from YUBI.
Is out. He's not done. Smoke Swag wants to continue this fight. He's trying to take on red, running around this Urgot, which is kind of the opposite thing you want to do when he's got his shotgun knees available. Look at the damage, though. He's going to get it off. The blood just flows out, and that is going to be Smoke Swag taking down the Kaiju.
YUBI is falling apart at the seams, left and right, top to bottom of the map. Warplaque and co are just running over this squad, and you can feel the panic start to set in. Utility Monster flashing forward underneath Smoke Swag's tower, trying to get something happening, knows that his bottom lane is doomed, knows that he has to play towards this top side, and unfortunately, Smoke Swag with the outplay able to keep things shut tight and preventing YUBI from a window back in.
Oh no, Brian Singh is spotted. They know where he is. He goes on the magical journey to try to escape. Oh, what? Running right into the members of Utility Monster and YUBI, but unfortunately they're going to be getting the kill. Oh my goodness, Warplaque dodging the Zonia's ultimate from Bard. So much damage there.
Yeah, really, really fantastic use of the spell shield, able to recognize what he needs to dodge. Now, Bloon21 is just dead. He's just dead.
There's nowhere you can go as a hacker whenever you overplay your hand like that.
Yeah, especially with the crowd control, beautifully executed trap play from Jeff God Gamer will secure a shutdown for themselves, put themselves on the board for the first time in this game, but Warplaque still out for blood.
Looking for that engage. Flash is out. Civil Lock trying to run away. Final chapter is open and being read, but it's not going to be enough. Warplaque has been brought very low. I don't think they really expected that. Not able to find the engage. Utility Monster now might be looking to fight this Azir. We do see the Rift picking up first turret in the bot lane. So while they are down 7 kills, Gold is only about 2k behind.
Yeah. And a lot of that is credit to Civilluck, who despite...
the apprehend!
he
And
blocked
Smoke
him.
Swag is like, nah, we doing this. Come here, boy.
Very
Not going to be able to
volatile on
continue
that
the
top
engage,
side.
unfortunately.
Trinity Force completed for Smoke Swag means that he can continue to play aggressive up in this top side as long as he knows where Utility Monster is. But one credit to YUBI is that they are at least keeping their CS deficits not too bad, right? Civilluck actually accumulating a slight gold lead over Street Smurf is absolutely huge, because this Syndra is their one sort of way to play into the Yuumi, right? Yuumi is a character that needs to attach to somebody, they need to stack on somebody. If you can just blow the heck up whoever is on top of before the shielding and healing comes in, that is an effective way to deal with that character. So I'm looking to Civilluck, once he hits those second, perhaps third items, to really try and hone in on whoever Frozen Aegis is attached to and try to get them out of the fight before Yuumi can become a problem.
And we got now 3 members of YUBI hovering around this top side. Could be interesting. We do see Utility Monster backing, not taking... the Krug's already taken by Urgot, do mean that Red has kind of taken some of his gold. Bloon, in the meantime, just clearing out the vision in the bot side, while I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot more pressure here as this dragon is up in 2 more minutes. So that's going to be the next major objective play. The Hex Gates are online, so that is going to provide a lot of roaming potential for both of these teams.
Yeah.
Ooh, Civilluck brought really low under this tower. The Emperor's Divide did knock them into the Shuriman turret, but they didn't take too much damage, thankfully. But unfortunately, they're going to get collapsed on here by 4 members of YOLO. There's not a lot. You can see Warplank's just like, hey, how's it going? We're ready to do this? Let's go. Go button has been pushed, and that is just immediately gone. But Bloon stayed under tower too long. Warplank going on a rampage, but Civilluck's going to be able to get some revenge. Meantime, in the top lane, Smoke Swag is going to get engaged on by 2 members. Red's going to get the execute, picking up the shutdown gold. That is actually going to be working out fairly well for the side of YUBI in the sense of they were able to get some cross-map play. Could be seeing a lot of damage done here in the mid lane too, as that turret is almost gone.
Yeah, massive cross map for YUBI brings them back into this game. The fact that they get the shutdown topside will make Red's life a lot easier. The fact that they do not secure the bottom tier 2 turret, which is what they were trying to do, for that 4-man dive is absolutely massive. Warplack now perhaps under threat.
Oh, could be under threat. We do see that the Phoenix form has been thrown out. Warplack taking a lot of damage. The Tempered Fate saves the Utility Monster, but he's going to get pushed back under tower by Bloon 21. Bloon's going to get brought really low, though, as Caitlyn is there, ready and willing to get the shots off. I mean, we did see Warplack saved by Frozen Aegis. Great job there protecting his laner from the ace in the hole, but at the same time, Bloon has to give their lives there.
Yeah, so, I mean, YUBI continuing to fight, continuing to show why this team was number 2.
Civilluck, you cheeky boy, getting some stuns on the Birdman. Jeff God has no mana here, though, as this dragon is about to come up. That could end up being potentially disastrous.
Doesn't have access to as many traps as he would like, but they do have the inside push, and it looks like Street Smurf instead going to push and crash onto the mid turret instead. I really like this play. They cannot make it a dragon instead.
Yeah, they're going to get that engage on in this mid lane, while at the same time the Drake is going to fall, but they're going to get a tier 1 tower out of this mid lane. It's a lot of pressure YUBI has to deal with now.
Yeah. And this will allow Street Smurf as well, or Smoke Swag, to get an easy rotation up to the top side, able to pick up some farms. So maintaining their gold lead, but getting these dragons stacking is huge for YUBI. We've talked about how this team is really good at playing around objectives and continuing to find, those times where if a game is close, it is almost always YUBI who is the one who is approaching.
Speaking of objectives, there goes that Rift Herald.
Sure does. There it is. And it's gone.
Yeah.
Picked up by Smoke Swag, which will give him some additional edge wherever he chooses to go after this recall. I suspect they will want to send Smoke Swag into that bottom side, just because that is the easiest available tower for the side of Scaling Copium to take, or Plaque. You know, when he is detached from Yumi, Jeff God Gamer and Warplaque stand toe to toe fairly well. Warplaque has completed the Phantom Dancer, is pretty strong, but Jeff God, does have the range advantage in that one-on-one.
Hmm.
So this is the point of the game where Frozen Aegis has to decide what he wants to focus on. Does he want to be on Hecarim? Does he want to be on this Sivir? And that's going to be a crucial decision for them to make.
Yeah, I mean, just look at those heals. So much healing coming out of the Yumi from just a little bit of zoomies, and so much damage coming out whenever they throw out those arrows. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. An untargetable champion able to do that much damage.
That's why I ban it.
Yep.
Teleport coming through. Street Smurf now in a ton of trouble. Syndra is here.
Oh, Street Smurf gonna get caught out. We do see the Utility Monster getting that stun up. The Ram form does able to get that hit, but unfortunately, the Emperor's Divide's gonna knock Zivlock out of a position. Street Smurf is not gonna go down, has too much health, even though it's only like 30. That is gonna be very well played. Good disengage by YOLO, picking up that kill.
Yeah, YOLO read the play. They see the teleport coming, and they rush 4 members down to secure the kill and deny, allow Street Smurf to live. Really, really heads-up play. And this is the advantage that Yumi brings, because in addition to, being untargetable and, so many characters hate them because they're just so uninteractable, they also give you so much move speed to move from fight to fight.
Red engaging on the Smoke Swag. He got so much poke down that unfortunately Smoke Swag was not able to get away. Is going to go down to the execution as he gets grounded to dust, eaten by that grinder, and now unfortunately Warplaque was not there to save him.
Yeah. So this is actually pretty interesting. Like, YUBI is doing a really good job of trying to keep the map split apart. They know that with Warplaque and Frozen Aegis so incredibly strong, 8-0 and 7 between them, that they can't really afford to take front-to-back team fights right now. So YUBI is saying, look, we want to scale up. We need to get our Caitlyn past the 1-item power trough. We need to get to 3 or 4 items before we can fight. Let's try to slow the pace of this game down by just pushing out our side waves and preventing Team YOLO from getting, those inner turrets.
And they want to get those kills on Warplaque. They want to get the damage off onto Warplaque so they can get that shutdown gold. So that makes them such a tempting target. Utility Monster, for example, right here, almost getting caught out. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see exactly how they're able to force this play. We do see Zivlock looking for the engage on Street Smurf, doesn't quite find it.
Street Smurf might
looks
look
like
for
he's
the play here.
Yeah,
doesn't have vision, so it doesn't feel comfortable going fully in.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Street Smurf is like, look, you want to fight? We'll fight. Just come on. Show me that you're actually willing to do it. I'm not going to chase you, though.
Yeah. So this is about where Scaling Copium has an opportunity to once again push the tempo, as Dragon is spawning in about 45 seconds. I would like to see them play more proactively with this lead, because I do believe that YUBI's composition scales quite well, and they need to keep up on the tempo. Now, this does put the onus on them to be those active members, look for perhaps dives in this middle lane, but I think that they need to do it, or else YUBI is going to catch up in no time.
Well, looks like we're
Rift Herald is a great way to start.
It is a good way to start. I kind of feel like they did that because they were running out of time more than anything. Jeff God, though, is going to get a massive amount of damage as Street Smurf, Smoke Swag was able to get a huge decimate on there, and that is a lot of damage that they're able to put out. There are no kills, but a lot, or summoner spells burned. Sorry, Bard did go down right there. So it is a dead support as this Rift Herald is just going to shove in this mid wave. Absolutely devastating. Zivlock looking for that back angle, does manage to find it and hit it. Utility, though, able to get this top turret. Zivlock getting hit by the Emperor's Divide, pushed out of position, taking a lot of damage, though. Street Smurf is going to be deleted. Blue turret is going to go down as we see Utility Monster able to take down that top turret. Warplaque, though, is just shredding through people with that disc. So much damage.
Utility Monster using the gateway. Might have the inside fight here, but again, 3v2.
Ooh, Smoke Swag. Smoke Swag gonna go bad, as unfortunately he's gonna find Utility Monster ready and waiting. Jumps on top, ace the hole of fire, kill! executed by Jeff God Gamer from a shot across the map. And unfortunately, Warplaque is going to get chased down. And I feel like they're going to get a couple of kills out of this, but the damage is going to be on the side of YUBI as they're able to get the first shutdown, chasing down the cat, trying to get the next one, get the next shutdown. That one's going to go onto Bard, and that is going to be them turning now onto this Baron. And a huge Baron push could be coming out here very shortly, and that is going to be really, really bad for YOLO as the pendulum has swung in the other direction.
I cannot believe it, but YUBI make miracles happen out of nowhere. Smoke Swag pushes a little bit too far forward, and YUBI is so gosh darn good at seizing opportunities. They get double shutdowns onto Warplaque and Frozen Aegis. They walk away with the Baron, and for the first time in this game, they seize control of the gold lead.
They are in the driver's seat, and they know where they want to go, and that is victory square after the grand finals. So they are ready and raring to go. They've just got to get over this speed bump that is YOLO.
Oh, man. So,
it's a very, very fast speed bump, too, that YOLO is.
Oh, for sure. So, taking stock of the game, Warplaque is on one of the best wave clear characters in the game, so might be able to hold this off, but playing aggressively is going to sack the tower instead. Means that they're not going to be able to play this. But look at this Smoke Swag here in the wings, trying to make it play happen.
Last second, final chapter is out. The Tempered Fate does not find its target. Warplaque is still alive, able to get the shots off on the background. Caitlyn is gone. That's Baron buff number 1 down, Baron buff number 2 down, and Baron buff number 3 down as we see the double kill on this Sivir. Triple kill. Warplaque is absolutely on a massive rampage. YUBI did not know how to play their hand, and unfortunately, looks like YOLO had an ace up their sleeve.
Yeah, huge credit to Street Smurf there, giving up his life heroically to make the play happen, has a massive Emperor's Divide, able to trap the members of YUBI. You know, initially I thought that Scaling Copium was making a bit of an interesting call. You know, they weren't using that wave clear to protect their turret, but they say, no, we just want to murder you over and over and over again. We're fine if you take that turret. We're out for blood, and they're gifted a tower in return.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, talk about great bait, right? Like, you got so much gold sitting in those turrets. I mean, it's perfect for it. And so now that they have kind of forestalled the tempo with those 3 Baron buffs down, that is a lot of lost map potential. So that means that the Caitlyn's going to have to be protected at all times. And unfortunately, it's going to be really, really bad for you. Look at the chunk damage that they're able to put out in just a couple of hits.
Yeah, absolutely disgusting. Warplaque, once again, 3 items completed to the 2.5 of Jeff God Gamer, continuing to hold that lead. Now, of note, Jeff God Gamer able to get a lot of side lane farm is actually up levels on Warplaque right now, as both teams barrel down towards the mid lane. Objectives not up for about another 1.5 minutes, so both teams just trying to establish a little bit of control so they can get their wards down before they recall for this next dragon.
Yeah, you know, Jeff may have the levels, but he doesn't have the items. Like, that extra item, the Lord Doms, is just doing so much for Warplaque to just completely delete the tanky members of YUBI, so there's not a lot that they can really do to kind of face him, especially when he's protected by a Yuumi, protected by a Hecarim. There's so much peel on the side of YOLO that Scaling Copium is basically able to let him Warplaque do whatever he wants. And there's so few opportunities for YUBI to engage, and it's just so risky to do so.
That said, I mean, this is where YUBI shines, right? When the game approaches the 27, 28, 30-minute mark is when this team really pops off. They're known for being a team that has historically had somewhat weak early games, and they have weathered the storm. They have kept the gold lead. Despite Warplaque and Frozen Aegis' phenomenal play, they've only kept the gold lead at about 2,000 gold, and they have not been able to successfully push the tempo. I say that, though, and Street Smurf is teleporting down here to secure Dragon number 3.
Getting in position. They are able to get it. We do have Warplaque dropping that spell shield. It doesn't provide mana anymore, but you don't really need that when it gives you health back. So they avoid getting stunned and rooted, but unfortunately, YUBI is out of position here. There's no way for them to really get down and contest this dragon.
Oh, they found Red
is going to get collapsed on so hard right here. Does jump in. Is like, look, I'm going to go down, but I'm going to try and go down fighting. Looking for something. Anything is not able to get it. That is going to be a huge shutdown onto the Hecarim. They managed to pick up that kill relatively easily, and there's no real response from YUBI.
Yeah, waves are all pushed out. This is exactly what you want to see if you are a fan of YOLO. They just want to shove out all the waves, then go to the objective. There's no counterplay here, no extra turrets to take. Those are already all gone. Means that it's a clean team fight victory, and Dragon number 3, Hextech Soul Point, now available, coming up next.
Oh my goodness, I am just so worried about YUBI right now. They are down only 3k, only about 2k gold, but but even so,
Oh
like
my
look at it, the damages. Warplague goes on a rampage. There's so much right there. Final chapter is gonna come out, and the book is gonna get closed on Warplague's face. Aegis as well, as unfortunately there's not a lot for them to do. Caitlyn is online. They have got the 3-item power spike, and they are just ripping right through those health bars, dismantling with those pot shots.
My goodness. I cannot believe the amount of damage that Warplague and Frozen Aegis are doing, but look here, Street Smurf in trouble.
Look, this is what you got to be careful about. The CCMU Utility Monster is not able to get onto Street Smurf in time, which means Jeff God is just going to get deleted as the guillotine comes down on their head. Massive damage from the Darius, and right here we are seeing once again so much as Darius is just ripping through this backline so much. It doesn't find the final kill. The Quadra goes on to Darius, looking for the Penta, going after Civillock. Civillock gonna get caught out. Darius gonna beat him to shreds, and that is a pentakill for Smoke Swag.
Smoke Swag coming up huge, both in Game 1 and in Game 2, crushing it now on this Darius, manages to secure a team fight win after what looked like disaster for Warplague and Frozen Aegis just moments before. Turn things around, 4,000 gold lead and a free Baron gifted over to Scaling Copium, and they are looking to put YUBI on match point.
You know, I have been thinking this whole time that someone put money into YUBI's, their PayPal. And, you know, I think I figured out who it was. Because that TP is looking a little sus to me, Civillock, coming in so late to that fight, giving over the pentakill. I wonder. I think Smokesmack might be the one who's rigging this game.
I mean, I will say that in interviews, you know, YUBI has said that they are very excited to play in the league. They love playing here.
Oh no, Brian saying getting caught out, going on a magical journey of death. Does manage to get the stun off, but unfortunately the final chapter is going to get 2 stacks. Oh, not quite the last one. Does manage to get out of there on us by the skin of his teeth, hanging on by a pixel.
My word, Sherigan. To my point earlier, I was going to say that YUBI members have gone on record as saying that they would be excited to be defeated in Mythic League. You know, this is a team that has won 3 back-to-back championships in a row, and they want to be challenged. They want to find the hard matchups and really be pushed against their limits. And Scaling Copium is doing absolutely that. They are taking them all the way to their maximum effectiveness. Now, with the Baron buff, going to be setting up towards that top side shove. Street Smurf, no, maybe caught out.
Maybe caught out. Look at that Sivir ripping through the top part of that health bar on the utility monster. In the meantime, we got a fight going on here in the bot lane as Red is getting a huge engage. The stun is blocked. Utility monster not able to get anything. Jeff God is getting shredded. Warplague using that magical journey to know exactly where YUBI is wanting to engage. And you know, YUBI, you gotta be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it.
Yeah, running back to the base with the tails between their legs. Warplague has been doing such a phenomenal job spacing out these characters. It just seems so impossible for YUBI to lock him down in a straight 5-on-5 fight.
Goodness. Right into the 3 members. 4. I always forget that the cat technically counts.
Okay, so Baron buff still available for a few moments here. It looks like Scaling Copium going to opt to play for Dragon Soul instead in 45 seconds. But look at this. I love this play. They know that YUBI wants to get in here to play for this objective, but they are choking out the vision and choosing to stay on the map instead of recalling.
Yes, this is what you want if you are YOLO.
God.
You want to chunk Jeff God out by doing so much damage to him. There's no way for him to possibly engage, even if he wanted to. Baron buff is slowly running out. There's very little that I think YUBI's going to be able to do. They're going to be running into this blind. The ace in the hole is fired kind of blindly, doesn't do a lot of damage there. It's got a low enough cooldown, though, that it'll probably be up in time for this next fight. In the meantime, Yubi's kind of forcing the issue, being like, look, you want to go for Soul, that's okay. We're just going to put so much pressure on these mid lanes. In the meantime, Utility Monster sees an engage, jumps on a Warplague, does not manage to get it. We see Warplague going, Golden staying alert. Civilic on the backline looking for the engage. Unfortunately, not able to find it as the rest of YOLO just jumps on top of them. Triple kill over to the Darius, and yet again, YUBI has been aced, and that is going to be yet another push into this base. I think that this might be, it's not going to quite be game.
Oh,
they're going to get a
be.
lot.
They have enough damage. 10, 2, and 8 on the Sivir with
Oh,
20 seconds remaining. Yeah, all members of YOLO streaming, going to crush YUBI once again with their own champion and take us to game 3.
Game 3 and match point for Scaling Copium as they are looking to go to these grand finals. They know that YUBI is a threat, but unfortunately it's not a big enough one, as right here, hanging out around the Nexus, they're just baiting it in and hitting it. Nothing you can do to stop this Scaling Copium, as they are just absolutely overdosing us right now.
Wow. What a game. You know, Sherigan, going into this match, we had a staff poll about which team would come out on top. And I'm going to be honest with the viewers right now. 90-10 on staff say YUBI takes this series comfortably. But if you look at the way that Scaling Copium is playing these matches, they look immaculate, and they are pushing YUBI to the absolute brink, and the cats might finally fall.
And you know, interestingly enough, as we're about to go into this game number 3, I am not sure what the outcome is going to be. I just know that it is going to be really, really interesting, so you better stick around. We will be right back.